some of these guys can build houses. You know what I mean? And then they know all that kind of, they have that education, you know what I'm saying, in order to do that. And it's wasted right now because on the streets and nobody giving them a chance.
You never know who you will encounter in the underground. You might find actors, singers, former civic leaders, fathers, sons, and brothers. Levi once posed on the front cover of a Rick James album. She and her friends now have taken up residence in a storm drain by the airport, the constant scream of jet engines soaring above.
The truth is, if we went down here and offered housing to everyone, only a small percentage would accept it on the spot. It's a very complicated situation.
Remember, guys, anybody can be here. Just by a stroke of the pen.
At the drop of a dime, anybody can end up homeless, even if you're filthy rich.
So don't take everything so lightly, and don't profile everyone that is homeless, because you don't know your name is on the list too if you don't watch it.
I personally, with my past and my background, I never would imagine I would be under a bridge. I was a Playboy Bunny, a Buffalo Bills cheerleader. I was with Rick James on a couple of his albums and a professional dancer. Today, under a bridge, I never would believe that.
Like you said, it can happen to anybody. Huh?
It can happen to
This is
anybody.
Vegas. Anything can happen to anyone. You can be a millionaire one
Together
day.
they share Matt's take on the homeless. They are people, with stories and lives. You don't have to feel sorry for them, but don't discriminate. Each of them has learned a hard truth. Anyone could be one bad day away from being in their shoes. You may not have a Matt O'Brien to look out for you when you arrive. There's another reason Matt came here today, to say goodbye. After 10 plus years, the writer is leaving Las Vegas.
Just coming up, on 20 years here in Las Vegas, and as you guys know, the town can wear on you at times, the heat and the transient nature of the place. And it feels like things have plateaued for me a little bit personally and to a lesser extent professionally. And I went to El Salvador on vacation about 6 months ago, and that turned into a job interview at a prep school down there where I'm going to teach world literature, and the salary is decent, and the cost of living is low, and I can write and learn Spanish and travel and teach, world lit. And it just turned out to be too good of an opportunity to pass up on.
Matt has turned to Paul Vautrinot to pass the baton. Paul also was a homeless tunnel dweller, a heroin addict who had to battle his own demons to find a way out.
People, you're good, and so I went down there, and it was funny. They already had like a little mini camp set up. There was like a mat. It was like a jail mat laying out on the floor with some blankets and a pillow, and they were like, yeah, man, you can catch a spot there, and so you could build a camp. And I can tell you that immediately it was like, I was in awe, and I was comfortable and excited. Because I thought, oh, now I got 4 walls, I got a roof, you know what I mean? Like, it was like, I felt like I had left being homeless. You know what I mean?
Matt has bittersweet feelings about this next adventure. He's leaving some of his family behind. He knows there's still much work to be done
more
here.
Sweet than,
there's people who
than
still
bitter,
need help.
I would say, I just feel like I need a change, and I'll give it a year or two, and I'll come back occasionally. Maybe I'll end up back here at some point. I don't know. I tend to kind of move on and look for new adventures. But I'll always have a connection to Vegas, and more specifically the tunnels and the people that have been so kind to me and have done so much for me. So about 5-6 years ago, when the Clark County Regional Flood Control District heard we were doing Shine a Light and outreach in the tunnels, they printed out a map for us of the flood channels. And you can see
Today, Paul counsels homeless and helps people find help for addiction. He'll take over the reins of Matt's Shine a Light Foundation and work to increase awareness of the plight of those who seek a way out of the dark.
I'm blessed because this is something that I think I would have probably wanted to do. I think I've always known I wanted to do it, but never really knew how to go about it. So to be handed something that's already in such great condition and to help it grow and to move forward with it is really exciting.
Anyone who seeks a journey into the underworld knows Matt O'Brien. He's helped local homeless advocates reach out to veterans. He's helped reunite families. Matt isn't particularly famous for his efforts, but if you are homeless and live beneath the streets of Las Vegas, you know his name.
And just creating the avenue of getting these guys the opportunity to get out and get housed and get employed and get their vital paperwork. I know every time I got an idea, I lost the idea. Anytime I tried to get any kind of paperwork, I lost it. And I never really had a full-time advocate, and I'm not a caseworker or social worker either, but I do casework through Freedom House, and I've learned the process and I know what it means. And I think really the biggest challenge is fear of wanting to help these guys more than they want to help themselves.
And what of the
It's a very
future of Shine a
complicated
Light?
situation, but Paul's going to do what I've done for many years, is build those relationships and try to be there for people when they're ready to get out. So if we can just house one person a year, 2, 5, whatever it is, that would make me feel great.
Matt O'Brien is an unsung hero, a voice for hundreds of people whose lives steered them down unfortunate paths of failure, addiction, and disappointment. Matt listened when no one else would. He'll spend his last night in Las Vegas sleeping in one of the tunnels with many of his friends. But even as he flies away, he leaves behind a sense of hope. Hope that something better lies just beyond the shadows.
What goes on in my hand? 'Cause I get